Today I'm going to show you some more simple moves that you can do to increase your thoracic mobility, your shoulder mobility and your upper back mobility, and hopefully improve your range of motion in your shoulders and your chest and your thoracic area too. So the first thing that we're going to do is come to lying on your back. And you're going to take your elbows just under your shoulders, maybe slightly further back, and your knees bent here. And the first thing we're going to do is press into our feet, press into the back of the pelvis, press into the hands. And as you root down through the feet and through the arms, you're going to lift the chest up, and then you're going to drop it back down again. So you're trying to mobilize only into the chest area. We're not tilting the pelvis, we're not moving the shoulders, we're not trying to move the head. We're simply moving from the chest up and down, sinking down through the bridge of our arms and lifting up. And you want to keep the fingers and the palms and the elbows and the forearms all really active as we do this. So you can do this about 10 times. And if this feels like it's too much pressure down onto the wrists, you can actually come back and take your arms onto a sofa. So here I've got my elbows onto the sofa, my fingers dropping, my knees bent, and I've shuffled my bottom a little bit further away. And now I'm going to lift my chest and depress my chest, and lift it and depress it. So exactly the same thing, it's just that we've taken the floor up towards you by lifting your elbows onto the sofa. So this is just a different variation of that same pose, and you can also of course have your elbows resting on a bed or on a chair. The next thing that we're going to do is come to lie on our side. So if you lie on your right hand side, stack your knees. Now we don't want the knees really high up like this, we want to take them a little further away, and we want to make sure that our elbow is in line with our hip, so we've got a nice straight line in our spine. Our elbow is underneath our shoulder, palm is down, pressing into the hand there. We're going to bring the top hand, the left hand, onto the top of the head, and as we inhale we're going to draw the shoulder and the chest back, looking back past the elbow. And as we exhale, we're going to fold down and in. So opening all the way up and exhaling down and in. So your elbow is pointing towards the space that you've created between your chest and your arm. And then from here, we can take it all the way up, opening the chest, opening the arm, and then we can tuck the arm all the way under, and opening all the way up, inhale, and exhale, taking your arm all the way under, really pressing down into the forearm, into the palm, into the hand, to allow for that rotation, and that rotation is coming through the rib cage, and by gliding the scapula onto the back. And again, about 10 of these. So the inhale is taking you open, and the exhale is taking you closed. We'll come back to the center. So obviously you're going to do that on both sides. The next thing that we're going to come to do is all fours. So tabletop position, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. You're going to make a nice flat back spine there. So when I say flat back spine, I mean the tailbone is drawing back towards the wall behind me. The crown of the head is lengthening away. And instead of rounding my spine or depressing my spine, I'm trying to make it flat like a tabletop. And I've spread the fingers really, really wide here. From here, I'm going to take the left hand onto the back of the head, just like we did before, and I'm going to open the elbow all the way up, and as I exhale, take it all the way under, and I'm going to rest here for a moment, taking a breath, and then opening all the way back up again. Now, if you found that the floor was a little too far away, you can take a brick or a cookbook, and you can place it horizontally behind that right hand, and I'm just going to show you a little adaptation. So we'll open up, and then we'll slide the elbow onto the brick, and then we'll rest the shoulder down, rest the head down, and we'll take a deep breath into the rib cage, inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll press into the right hand, open up, glide open, and exhale, take it over and under onto the brick or the floor, resting here. Pressing in, open up, exhaling back down again. And you might want to start with about 5 reps of these. Breathing and softening, letting go. Draw the tailbone back. Keep the shin bones and the tops of the feet nice and active. Last time. And then come back to the center, take the breakaway, take your knees wide, big toes together, and sink back into a child's pose there, just rocking side to side, stretching it out. And you can now go back and do all of those poses on the other side so that you balance out the body. Just making sure that you take a little rest in between them. And then we'll roll up to a kneel or standing kneel, whichever one is more comfortable for you. I'm going to do the sitting kneel. And we're just going to swing the arms forwards to backwards here. So you're just letting go, you're just releasing. And then you can take it into a swinging twist. So another really nice one that you can do is swinging the hands side to side, letting them just flop. So the hands are heavy, the palms are heavy, and the arms are just swinging. You can start to follow one arm with your gaze so that you get that rotation traveling up through the spinal column, all the way through the shoulders, and also through the neck as well. So taking this in a standing position or a kneeling position during the day always really helps to release out any cricks or clicks that come into the back as we sit for long periods of time. I'm going to wind back down slowly to the center, and then just give the hands, the elbows, and the shoulders a nice little shake. Okay, so the very last thing we're going to do is some lunges. We're going to either take our right foot forwards from here, like this, or if that feels very unstable, come back down to all fours, put the foot on the floor and wriggle it all the way up. Now, if that back knee feels really bony on the floor, just roll up a little blanket or a towel and place it under the knee or a cushion just to get some stability there and some softness. So what I want you to do is start with the hip. So find the right hip, and you want the right knee coming straight out from that hip. So it hasn't gone wide to the side, it hasn't come in towards the center, it's in a straight line from the hip. And the ankle starts off straight below the knee too. Once we've found that position, we're going to creep the foot forwards just a little bit, so it's an obtuse angle. The heel is forwards of the knee, and this is so that when we glide forwards, the knee will arrive again over the ankle and bone will be supporting bone. That's really important. So once we find that position, we press down into the toes. We can take our hands onto the knee or onto the hips. I'll have mine on the hips just so you can see a little clearer. And we're going to glide the knee forwards towards the second and third toe, the center of the foot, and then glide back and ease off. So gliding forwards and back, gliding forwards and back. You're just doing a couple of these, waking up the muscles of the legs, watching how your knee tracks. Notice if the knee wants to come to the inside or if it wants to come to the outside, and you be your own guide. So hold yourself accountable to keeping the knee almost like it's moving through little train tracks, straight forwards and straight back. And then we're going to stay forwards into the lunge, letting the knee be over the ankle, rooting down into this back leg. My back leg is active, it's not flopping on the floor. I'm going to bring my hands up behind my head. And now from here, keeping the knee really stable, I'm going to exhale and curl in, and inhale, press out of the heel and open. And exhale, curl back in, and inhale, opening. And exhale, curl back in, and you'll feel wobbly in that leg as all the stabilizer muscles are challenged here to work a little bit harder. But we're opening up the whole of the back of the body, the whole back chain of the body. And last one. Now from here, we're going to take the opposite hand to the outside of the knee. So in this case, it's my left hand to the outside of my right knee, and I'm pressing those two places together to keep the knee in place. I'm going to begin a rotation from the right rib cage, then the right shoulder, and then I'm going to extend the right hand back and look back, and I'm going to take 3 big breaths here. Drop both shoulders down. And then come all the way back to the center. Bring your knee back, come back down to your child's pose, stretching it out. Maybe a little rocking side to side, releasing. And come back to the center, to your kneeling position, standing or kneeling, and releasing the arms. So I'm just going to demo that on the other side, but facing forwards, just to be sure that you know exactly what was happening here. So I'm going to face you forwards. You can bring your hands down, walk that foot slowly forwards. This time it's my left foot, and I'm going to put the cushion underneath my right knee if I need it. And you can see here, I could have my knee out here, have my foot in here, but what I want is a straight line from my hip to my knee. So I find that right angle first, and I drop my weight down into that right side. Roll my shoulders, soften them out. Once I've found that position, I feel stable. I'm going to creep that left foot forwards away from me. And then I'm going to try out the glide. I'm going to see, when I'm here, is that too far or is it okay? We don't want to go too far into strain or too far into challenge. We want it to be just at that edge between strain and challenge. So we don't want to go to the strain, but we want to add that challenge. So I'm just gliding forwards and backwards, seeing how that feels. I'm going to watch my knee. We don't want him coming into the inside. We don't want him going out to the outside. We want it just tracking that nice straight line, nice glide. And when we're doing this, we want to keep active in all of the toes. So big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe, and also the heel, tripod of the foot, all working. And this time we're going to stay forwards. And when we stay forwards, I drop the weight into both feet and the back knee. So I've got this nice solid foundation to allow for freedom of movement in the upper body. I'm going to bring my hands behind my head. Stabilize by pushing down into both feet. Inhale. And as I exhale, I curl down and in. And as I inhale, I open back up. And as I exhale, I curl in. And as I inhale, I open back up. Inhale, exhale. Keep working that left foot. Last one. Press out of the heel, come back up. Now I'm going to take my right hand to the outside of my left knee, so that hand to the opposite side. Press those together to stabilize. Draw my left waist back, left rib back, left shoulder back, left hand back, look back, and I'm going to breathe here for 3. So I'm going to cross body twist. Then I'm going to come all the way back to the center, lean back, take my leg back, get my hands onto my hips, and just finish with some nice loose circles here. Circling in one direction, and then circling out in the opposite direction. And release. Okay, I hope you found that helpful and clear. If you have any questions, you can pop them in the comments, and let me know what you'd like to see a little demo video on next, which area of the body. Thank you for watching.